sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you, for you, for you, for you, for you, for you, for you,
Dire team ban.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and Dota players around the world. Welcome to tonight's Sunday Dota action. We are in the Indigo finals. This is it. The two teams that have made it to the finals is going to be Pulse Reborn versus DUC. I hope everyone's had an amazing Sunday. And I am Jumba. I am joined by Snare. How are you doing tonight, my friend? Snare, you with me?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm actually really excited about these games that are going to happen just now. So it's going to be great, man.
Okay, awesome. Well, we are in underway, and the bans have actually taken place. We'll jump into that, but yeah. Otherwise, I hope everyone's been having a lacquer Sunday. Everyone now kind of on a bit of a break, prepping up towards Rage and to our Masters and DGC. So these two teams are actually going to be playing in the DGC. They're going to be at the local LAN event. Our two teams are actually seeded 2 and 8. Pulse will be sitting at our seeding 2 and DUC sitting at seeding 8. So according to the seeds, Pulse Reborn do go into this matchup with a little bit of an advantage, but nonetheless, that's a little bit of our pre-game banter. The bans are underway. We've got the Oracle Morphling being banned out for Pulse, and for the side of DUC, banning out the Elder Titan as well as the Drone. Now, I feel a lot of teams struggle with Morphling in this new meta. Although she's actually just received the nerf. Do you think teams still struggle to deal with this Morphling?
The main problem that most teams have when they have to go up against Morphling is that generally when teams end up picking Morphling, they pick very powerful laning supports. So you struggle to sort of shut the Morphling down in the laning phase, and we all know what happens if you allow Morphling out of the laning phase relatively unscathed. It's really difficult to deal with. Either you need mass silencers or mass stuns, and generally we've seen Dota moving more away from teams having a large component of stuns. We normally see 1 or 2 stuns on a couple of key supports. The offlaner maybe has one huge control ability, and the rest of the heroes are just available to fight with. So Morphling is one of those heroes that it's really, really good in this meta. Like you mentioned, teams have great difficulty dealing with it. No one really knows how to always itemize against the Morphling as well, because you can buy the BKB, but you're not really sure you're going to survive. The burst, the Lincoln Sphere seems like a large investment for one of your carries, and your supports are always going to be food against this Morphling in the late game. So there's maybe 3 or 4 heroes that are commonly picked up that are good against the Morphling, such as Shadow Demon. AA sometimes is picked to counter Morphling, but in general, the hero is just too strong. So I can understand why Pulse would ban that out.
Well, I mean, we've got the ban out from the Morph, but Pulse actually picked up themselves the Shadow Demon. It's really a contested hero, the Shadow Demon. It's one of those heroes that can be played as a very aggressive, a very offensive and defensive kind of support. Do you think that maybe Pulse has got something else lined up? Normally we see either a Luna or an Anti-Mage, and I think that just kind of puts the nail in the coffin, is the Luna gets picked up. I was actually watching the TI, and the stats that actually came back was like 60% win rate for a Shadow Demon Luna combination. So I feel DUC is going to have to come a little bit harder to the party if they're going to want to be able to shut down what Pulse is bringing. But nonetheless, the DUC has actually picked up the Mirana and the Lion combination. How do you feel so far the draft going here? I feel Pulse has got a little bit of an advantage here.
Pulse definitely does have the advantage. Shadow Demon Luna, or just Shadow Demon plus an edgy illusion hero. So we see Shadow Demon Morphling, Shadow Demon Juggernaut, but Shadow Demon Luna is definitely the best one of the 3. It's just very difficult to deal with how much split push it puts on the laning phase into the late game towers, especially with Luna with the glaives that can just bounce around, ad nauseum with the illusion. So it's really hard to deal with. That being said, Duck do have the Lion. So they have the Mana Drain, which immediately cancels one of the illusions, and they have the Sacred Arrow from Mirana, which can kill one off no matter how tanky the Luna is in the late game. So Duck, they are definitely behind thus far because of how powerful Shadow Demon Luna is, but they have the tools to be able to deal with these two heroes, especially in the early game before Luna has BKB. Finger of Death with Hex can really tear it to this hero. So Duck can make this work in the laning phase. It depends, I think, on what they pick for their mid, because if they have a mid hero that requires too much babysitting and Pulse is able to really take advantage of that and give the Luna a very powerful laning phase, then Duck will really be behind once it comes to the mid game.
Well, I've actually casted a couple of games with DUC, and their lineup is pretty flexible. I do know that they like running. They either can put like Isan in the mid, or they put Legend on the mid, and then the other one plays the core. Generally, the heroes that they kind of pick up is Death Prophets, Razors, kind of thing. What kind of mid hero could DUC bring to the party to actually like kind of aid their lineup so far?
Like you said, they really do enjoy picking up. But like they have Mirana, which is something that I know Zan plays a lot, but they also run this in the support. They play DP a lot. I think in a game like this, Invoker would do really well for their team. And I have seen them run the hero a couple of times. I think either Invoker or Death Prophet could be really useful in the mid lane because you need some pushing potential, and they are on Radiant side, and they need a way to be able to fight around the Roshan pit with their mid hero. Otherwise, you can run into a situation where Pulse, because of the fact that they have Luna, which gives so much damage to the team in its entirety. If they have one hero that can that's even decent against Roche, such as Slaughter, Bounty Hunter, or anything that reduces armor, they could even just buy up a medallion on the Shadow Demon, and then Roshan becomes incredibly difficult to fight against because of Lunar Eclipse. So I think if Duck carry on the way they are, which the kind of picks that they're going for, such as Axe, Lion, Mirana, heroes that can fight consistently on without very high cooldowns, I think they can set themselves up very well around the Roshan pit. So I'd like to see either Invoker or TA, I think could do really well for Duck right now.
Well, I completely agree with you that Duck really does like to pick up heroes that have very low cooldowns and that are always combat ready, pretty much. But Pulses, they've gone to actually pick up the Sand King. Now, he's also received a little bit of a nerf as well. They've actually reduced his movement speed by 5. Not a drastic nerf, but still somewhat a reduction in his mobility. So Pulse going to see how they actually play around that. But let's just jump onto the bans quick, as 2 more bans have come out for each of the teams. The Sven and the OD being banned out for the side of Pulse, and Darkseer Void also being banned out for the side of DUC. So maybe taking away that off-lane potential, making sure that they can kind of get DJ. I assume DJ will be playing the Axe. That they kind of give him like the free reign, free opportunity to try and get as much as he can out of the lane. Sand King, in this new meta, the Sand King's actually been put in the off lane. His casting finale is unphenomenably brilliant against melee heroes. So maybe that was their response to the 2 bans coming out from the Void and the Darkseer.
I like the Sand King pick. Like you said, this Classic Finale is just incredibly good. It's just too good in the laning phase. Right now, I think actually Duck are going to have trouble dealing with the lanes. I think they have a lot of fighting potential once the mid game hits, and once Axe has Blink Dagger, Juggernaut has Manta and or Diffusal Blade, Mirana has Axe, Lion maybe has Blink Dagger, but in the laning phase itself, Axe is not going to be able to deal with Luna, Shadow Demon, and Kunkka. There's a lot of kill potential in that lane. The safe lane is not particularly safe for the Juggernaut because of Sand King. A couple of Cosmic Finale stacks and 1 Bar Strike, and Juggernaut's either going to be forced to spin, salve, or use up the Healing Ward, which is neither of which are good in the laning phase. And I don't think Duck don't have any ways to actually kill the Sand King right now. They have a couple of stuns which can go through the Sandstorm, but they don't have actually a lot of outright damage to keep him in place and actually bring him down. So I think Pulse is in a very good position. And like you mentioned with the OD ban, Duck not probably, but they could have really made use of the OD in the mid lane. Now that they ban out the Invoker, it leads me to believe that they want to run this Mirana in the mid lane. And actually, I think they want to run Juggernaut in the mid lane. I think this is mid Jug. We'll see. Mid Jug gets Rex Invoker, so I don't know why they banned Invoker. What do you think?
Look, I like the Invoker pick. It's just such a good AoE hero, especially if she goes Quas Wex. Just can do so much damage towards the side of Pulse. So yeah, I would have liked the Invoker. Maybe they've got something a little bit more up their sleeve. I think this is going to be a Legend Juggernaut. and Isan's going to be picking up the mid hero now. This is just what I see. But just to touch back on the Mirana, something else that I was reading through the patch notes just before the game is that the Mirana Ag Starfall has now actually been reduced from 8 seconds to 9 seconds. So
Yes.
not a big nerf, but still somewhat. I mean, it doesn't tie up perfectly with your Starfall as well. I mean, your Starfall has an 8-second cooldown. Your innate ability. So getting the Ags Mirana, a little bit of a nerf, but still absolutely farms like an absolute demon, and can still get that farm on her. So for the side of DUC, the mid hero that they're going to have to be picking up, like, I mean, I suppose the advantage is that Pulse is now going to be picking up their mid, and the DUC will be able to counter accordingly to kind of round off their draft. Pulse, I mean, they're looking for a mid now as well. Going to try and predict what DUC is going to go. What would you do in a situation like this? So far, I don't think it's going to be a Jugger mid.
Pulse should go Death Prophet. If they go DP right now, Duck will find it really difficult to actually take team fights because Pulse will have a lot of ways to actually engage fights either with the Sand King, Kunkka, or the Shadow Demon, and ways to stop Juggernaut from spinning, Axe from being able to get the corner off, or Mirana from leaping. So I think DP would be very good for them. Invoker obviously has been banned. I think that would have probably been like top 2 as well. Beyond that, I think they could actually suffice with a Puck. If they get a Puck, they have a lot of team fight potential. The only weakness with Puck is that it puts a lot of focus on the Luna as being the late game sole late game carry. But we'll see. Or they go Alchemist, so they want to double down on their potential to be able to farm for the late game, want to be able to split push the lanes, make it difficult for Duck to go high ground. Also, this is a hero that is extremely good against both Juggernaut and Axe because of the mischance once he picks up the Radiance, if he goes for Radiance. And if you also have the option of going for the Medallion into Solar Crest route, which gives you more Roshan potential as well. So I like the Alchemist pick, it's very versatile. And they figure that if he has to go either against Mirana, Axe, Juggernaut, or any other hero, he should be fine right now. The only heroes which definitively beat the Alchemist in the mid lane have generally been banned out, that being the Invoker and the OD, so I think he'll be fine. It's going to be... Let's see what they run with. It's going to be mid Mirana. Yeah, Alchemist is going to be perfectly okay here. A is very good against Alchemist, but not that great versus Luna, because Luna always fights BKB. So I generally like how Pulse has set up their game. I think their lanes are much more powerful than Duck, but Duck has... If Duck survives the laning phase in good enough shape and get a good enough timing on the Blink Dagger for the DJ, I think their team fight is way superior to Pulse in the early game.
Well, I mean, I have seen a couple of the DJ X Berserker calls, and they have always been phenomenal. Always like 3-4 man Berserker calls. So he's got a lot of weight on his shoulders to make sure he can get those awesome calls off. But nonetheless, the game is underway. For those of you that are just joining us, this is the Indigo's final tournament. These are our 2 finalists, and they are going to be going head to head in this best of 3. So without further ado, let's go ahead and introduce the 2 teams to you. On the side of the Radiant is going to be played by Duck. We've got the DJ RS going to be playing our Axe. We've got Wormy on our Ancient Apparition. We've got Isan going to be playing our Mirana. CKY on our Lion. Legend is going to be playing our Juggernaut, and that runs up the side for the Radiant. Please introduce the side of Pulse for us, Sneh.
And on the Dire side, we have S playing on the off-lane Sand King, it looks like. We're going to have here posing up to take the bottom rune. It's going to be Fady on the Luna, Frenzy on the hard mid Alchemist, Anthem on the support Kunkka, and that's going to leave last but not least Doppler on the support Shadow Demon, who has Smoke and Mango. I don't think they're going to fight here. They have smoked up top, but I think they were spotted out by this Observer that was placed out by S. Very nicely done by him.
Yeah, it seems like both teams are just going to go ahead and take a bounty rune for each. Alchemist picking up that bounty rune gives him an extra 300 gold off the bat, so that's a nice little collection towards his bottle in the early parts of the game. For the side of Duck, it's going to be a mid Mirana. I suppose I do like this better than the actual mid Jugger. Just maybe does a little bit better against the Alchemist. I suppose always standing outside of the acid spray that he'll be throwing down quite a bit. So, I mean, that's a little bit better in the bot lane. Oh, it looks like they've got a little bit of a surprise coming up here. Doppler Kunkka hiding behind the lines. Legend is unaware of this. They're going to maybe throw Luna here as a little bit of a bait. But look at the two supports here from the side of Dark. They do get the torrent off onto Legend. They're going to try and make something happen. He does spin it out. There comes CKY with the stun. Does catch two. Now they're trying to bring down the Legend. They do get him. First blood going in favor of Pulse. And that was a quick first blood. Less than 1 minute into the game. And already first blood is spilt. So this is going to be a rather exciting game. And I mean, they didn't even use the did they use the disruption to actually line up the torrent? I don't think they did, and that's still something that they have online for the side of Pulse. They can make their DUC's draft a little bit weak against this.
Yeah, Anthem actually went for the raw torrent. It caught Legend completely unaware. As you said, he was not expecting it whatsoever. So they still do have disruption, and I definitely like how Pulse is setting this up. So they're running this aggro try, knowing that Juggernaut's going to struggle to actually get farm versus the Luna. Juggernaut versus Luna is just terrible for Juggernaut until level 4, when you have generally 2 points into the Blade Fury and at least 1 point into Healing Ward. So up until that point, Luna's going to have a definite advantage. It doesn't help that there's Kunkka and Shadow Demon heroes that can easily save the Luna if she's gone on. And they put the Axe versus Sand King, so you would imagine that this is going to be fine for Sand King and Axe. I think it just depends on how they
bot lane, though.
use their abilities.
Bot lane, Jugger does get disrupted up. The torrent does mid, so they're trying to be very aggressive here in this bot lane. And like you're saying, do you think that putting the Sand King up against the Axe, do you think maybe they should maybe swap the lanes a little bit? Or do you think, do you like the laning phase as it's going now at the moment? Put in the aggressive, the safe try against the aggressive try lane from Pulse?
I really like this laning phase from Pulse. So the reason why I like it is basically when you play Juggernaut, one of the things that you want to be able to do is that once you hit level 3, level 4, level 5, you want your supports to leave the lane, rotate elsewhere, stack up some jungle camps for you so you can farm them later with the level 3 Blade Fury. However, the way that Pulse has set this up right now is that Legend, the supports are always going to have to stay by him, which also means that Alchemist is going to be completely free to farm in the mid lane. Mirana is not going to be able to stop the Alchemist by herself. So Juggernaut is going to be forced to deal with this full tri-lane. At the same time, it's going to allow Sand King to get a lot of work done on top. As we just see, he brought down Axe by himself. And Axe for the first 2 levels seems like a good pickup against Sand King, but as we were discussing, you cannot lane any melee hero versus Sand King. Not really. Tyrants is maybe the better of the worst situation. So as it stands right now, I don't think Duck is going to really get too much out of any phase, even if they get a couple of kills. And Axe right now has the most losses. But I think bottom lane, we should expect more deaths. Even top, actually, we should expect more deaths to happen onto the DJ. So Pulse, if nothing else, as long as they don't die from this, I think they are set up perfectly fine for the mid game even.
Absolutely. I mean, do you think that they have the potential to actually take it to the late game? But nonetheless, in the bot lane, disruption comes out here. CKY getting catch up by the torrent. There's Illusions trying to whack away. CKY trying to run away. He does get brought down by the Lunas. So, I mean, this damage that's coming out from the side of Pulse is absolutely redonkulous. And it's just making such easy meat here of the side of Duck. Luna running right past the tier 1 tower. Now they're trying to turn themselves onto Wemi on the AI. He's in a little bit of trouble. There comes the torrent. Does go down to the Shadow Demon. Now Legend trying to get himself out of there. He does try and Blade Fury up. He's going to make it out. He does get the kill on the Luna. Is it enough to bring down Doppler in the back lines? He's going to be able to salve up and walk away there. The disruption just keeping that damage off himself. And now Anthem just throwing out the Tidebringer. Now CKY want to return the favor here. Does get that Hex up onto the Kunkka, but there's going to be no follow up from the side of DUC, and big creep pull over here from the side of Pulse, pulling this entire creep wave. He could actually go down here. Wumi does find him in the back lines, throws on their cold feet, and they do actually get a kind of a trade. They 2 for 2 in that whole team fight, losing the line, losing the Jugger, but eventually being able to recapitalize on that by bringing down the Luna as well as the Kunk in the back lines.
I don't think it was worth it. End of the day, Juggernaut, sure, he does get a kill, or he does get, they do get the kill onto the Luna, and he does get the kill first before he goes down. But Juggernaut going down, it would be okay if the rest of their lanes were going well. Mid is going even, which, you know, because it's Alchemist, actually Alchemist is winning. And top, as much as the Axe is getting more CS out of this, Sand King is just, by and large, the more effective hero at setting up kills initially. Axe can catch up once he gets the Blade Mail as well as the Blink Dagger, but Sand King only really needs the Blink Dagger and suddenly he's a massive threat all across the map. So I think it's okay, but it's not the situation that we're hoping for. And as well, these supports are all stuck here. If we look at the levels, CKY and Wormy are both level 3, which they would probably want to be higher up, considering that Doppler is level 4 right now. Kunka is level 3, but him and Doppler have greater potential to rotate on mid and actually get kills. So I think this might be somewhat difficult. And Wormy, as we see, is just being muscled out. They try to get this pull camp from the hard camp into the lane, but Luna is just going to soak up all this experience, take all the farm as well. So this is not going as Duck would have expected to go in the laning phase.
Absolutely. I mean, the synergy between the Kunka and the Shadow Demon just make it so hard for Duck to actually just get a little bit of a grip on this game, and it's falling slowly out of their grasp as
Top lane.
top lane or
The
not going.
DJ might go down. If there's a bar strike on Sand King, he will get the kill on Axe. But I think he doesn't know where Axe is. If Axe comes into the lane, he's gonna die like immediately. He's waiting for the Tranquil boost to come back. Yeah, he's dead. Nothing he can do about this.
He did get spotted out there from S, so that was super unfortunate. We do get the rotation in from Lion a little bit too late. Not going to get the return kill there. And I mean, Sand King getting so much work done against this Axe. Pretty good work there from him to be able to get those kills in the offlane against that Axe. I mean, he's such a nightmare to deal with. But I suppose the Caustic Finale is the kind of answer that they need.
Yeah, Caustic is the way to go, especially considering how many, like the majority of the damage is going to come out from Duck is going to be from Axe and Juggernaut, at least up until Mirana is a bit bigger.
Bot lane,
bottom lane, Wormy,
X, Torrent, Wormy, he's in a little bit of trouble. He's been tacked on there by the Kunka, but now his son, he does get disrupted up. He's getting a 2-stack poison on him. Doppler's trying to make some work here. They're not going to find the third poison stack. And here we go, Isan. He does go down to the Luna, but Luna's such low HP, just going to be brought down enough. Wormy, is he going to try and be able to right click away here? Wormy, one right click could make a difference, and he's actually just going to get himself out of dodge. And Fuddy, he's going to pick himself up a nice pretty kill there on Isan, and that's a little bit of problem. But now top lane, action around the map. We've got the Lion in tow, trying to bring down S. The battle hunger is going to just get dissipated as he does kill one of the creeps with his Caustic Finale. So, I mean, things are not looking too good for the side of DC. I just want to take a quick look at our net worth and XP graphs to kind of give us a little bit of a story here. Our net worth for the side of Pulse is plus 3,500, plus minus, just under 4K. Experience, just a difference of around about 2K. So things definitely favoring what Pulse is doing at the moment. And DC in a little bit of a precarious position. What could Duck do to actually get themselves back into some kind of commanding lead? I mean, we're only sitting 8 minutes in, and there's a lot of things that are still to happen. But what could Duck do to try and get things back in their favor?
The first thing they need to do, so Lion had the right idea moving top. He now does have a smoke to his name. I think the thing that needs to happen, Lion and Mirana need to group up, smoke together. If Axe is able to find a Berserker's Call on Sand King, which seems likely because of how close the Sand King is posting up to the Axe generally, then they will be able to actually stun him throughout the Sandstorm and actually get the kill on him. But instead, it's going to be Pulse who make the rotation top. S is here. They're looking for this kill onto the DJ. Power Strike, I think, yeah.
So Torrent, Axe is in a little bit of trouble. Does get the tie bring off, but DJ, very low HP. We got the call. S, can he make something happen? Yeah, the X marks the spots, brings him back, but not far enough. And there comes the Caustic Finale, just finishes him off there with the Burrow Strike. So, I mean, a lot of action happening top, and DJ does go down on that Axe. Not so tanky yet, my friend, and does actually bite the dust.
I think Kuka's going to actually come bottom and get a kill here as well. So exactly what Pulse are doing, moving around the map, trying to secure some farm for their offlaner in particular is what Duck need to be doing. They need to be trying to find a way to actually break down the Sand King. I mean, he's higher than Luna right now.
Disruption on Wormy. There's the Torrent. Does find out the AA, but Fuddy, he does go down to the onslaught of the CKY. Lion doing some good work there. A little bit of Shadow Poison there coming out from Doppler onto the AA. But he's going to be able to live through it. Doppler, he's in a little bit of trouble now. Torrent is going to be good. Does save out his friend, the Shadow Demon. So this Kunka making plays all the way around the map. I think that was a little bit of an overextension there from the Luna being caught out there from CKY on the line. But yeah, at least DUC are not giving up. They're still kind of throwing bodies at the situation. How do you feel that went? Do you think this is the right kind of play? But before that happens, top lane, there's Edge jumping on DJ. Does take a big chunk of damage there from the Helix, and Luna does pop her ult, brings down Axe, and that is another dead Axe in the top lane. Um,
Before
maybe
that
I've.
happened, I was actually gonna say that I think that fight bottom went fantastically for Duck. Them killing Fady actually saves the bottom lane. Now Luna actually has to back away. She knows that Juggernaut has Omni Slash. She knows that AA has ultimate as well, so she can't really stay in the lane anymore. And we already see she hits the top. However, they immediately go top, break down the axe, which is Duck. That's their initiating hero. They need this hero. Now they're gonna lose Lion as well.
Yeah, that was maybe a little bit of an overextension there from CK1. Knowing he's there alone, maybe not the smartest play, but maybe obviously trying to find a little bit of intel on exactly where the heroes are. DJ does come back into the lane, trying to equal out things over here. So yeah, as you said, in the bot lane, getting that kill on the Luna was a pretty big deal. Kind of makes Jugger a little bit of a bigger threat at the moment. And looking at the last hits, I mean, we've got Legend sitting on 44 and we've got the Luna sitting on 45. So both these heroes, I mean, they're doing relatively okay in terms of farm. The Shadow Demon sitting with 5 lost hits, Lion with 3, Kunkka with 2, and AA with 0. They're all negligible. So really, the side of Duck is not doing too bad considering the amount of lost hits sitting on the Jugger. I think the biggest problem is the Alchemist sitting with like 80 lost hits, and with his Grievel's Greed maxed out at the moment.
Got Radiance. He's almost got Radiance.
Yeah, this is going to be very, very tough for the side of Duck. I mean, that's like a 14-minute Radiance.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. I think it'll have it soon. I'll probably have it in like 13 minutes, and they might. So Sand King also has the Blink Dagger now, which is a pretty big deal. So any hero across the map that if they don't have vision of Sand King, they have to really be wary of their positioning. And Duck are gonna maybe try and make something happen. CKY is headed top as well as Azan. There's only one ward here, which spots out movement coming in from the far right side, and now they even popped their Moonlight Shadow. I think they might be able to get some kills out of this. If they can get Luna, this will definitely be worth. Anthem has rotated already. He's right on an Observer ward. They're gonna get these
Well,
kills.
there comes a disruption. Torrent off the mark. The arrow's going to be good. Catch. No, it's going to miss. They're trying to catch out Doppler, but Doppler's in a little bit of trouble. Now, Isam brings him down in the backlines. Now, DJ trying to work on Fuddy. There comes the Lunar Eclipse. Going to be able to be brought down as well. Luna does bring down the X, though, and now Ancient was the one that picked up the kill on the Luna, but there comes the stun out from the line, holding Anthem in place for just a little while. Cold Feet, they're not going to be able to latch, does phase out of it, and now Anthem just going to hide above the trees there, as well as that happening in the top lane. In the mid lane, losing the mid tower now as well. Bot lane, S looking to take the tier 1 tower as well. Legend not rotating top to actually try and secure that kill on the Kunkka. Do you feel that they want to try and create space the side of Duck and without rotating in the Jugger? Or do you feel they should have actually pulled in the Jugger? But they're going to lose the bot tower. May actually get denied here. Legend, not going to be able, he does get the denial from the bot tower. So a little bit of just 100 gold going a piece to the side of Pulse. How do you feel that top fight went there?
The fight could have actually gone better for Duck because they didn't get Anthem, and he, as we can see, still very low on HP. They could have gotten that kill, but they sort of, what ended up happening is that the Ice Blast landed on both Luna and the Shadow Demon, and they ended up chasing the kill to get the Shadow Demon kill, even though he was gonna Shadow guaranteed. And as a result, they missed out on getting the kill on Kunkka. I think Juggernaut was fine where he was. The problem was, you could see he wanted to go into the lane, but he understood that going up against a level 11 Sand King who has 4 points to quarter finale is just suicide, so doesn't even bother to go that route. Now he's farming top, waiting for a vulnerable hero to make themselves known. However, the vulnerable one might be the DJ. Anthem is here. They're going to get this kill.
Charging up. There's the AP. There comes the boat. It's going to be good enough, but the boat does land. The ship is there, and they're going to take him back to Hades with that big boat. And DJ down again. Now, considering that the way things are going here for Duck, now, generally it's a kind of a discussion that I like bringing up is because a lot of axes can kind of itemize differently. You've got the rush to Blink, you've got the rush to Vanguard, and you've got the rush to Blade Mail. DJ hasn't really revealed too much. Well, okay, he's just now bought the Chainmail, so it's probably going to be a Blade Mail. But just before that, do you think the Blade Mail, but hang on, bot lane, does Fady in a little bit of trouble here, does get sheeped out. They're going to try and bring him down. Isan getting those right clicks off, does get that final last right click there onto the Luna. So being able to pick up that Luna kill in the bot lane was a big deal here for the side of Duck. Nice little rotations there coming out from the boys from Duck and being able to bring down that Luna. She's a little bit of in a precarious position now as well, sitting with basically 10 last hits behind the Jugger now, where he was so pressurized in the early parts of the game. and now sitting a little bit behind the Jugger. But before all of that all started out, my question was Blink, Blade Mail, or Vanguard on the Axe?
In a game like this, especially, it has to be Blink. Because, as I was saying to you, what we were saying earlier, there's just very few ways for Duck to initiate. Even bottom, the only reason that they found that kill was because Fady was just way out of position. So, if he was in a proper position with Shadow Demon behind him or Kunkka nearby, I don't think they get that kill. And they have to would have to commit a lot harder in order to be able to get it. Blade Mail's okay from the DJ, but Pulse heroes can just ignore right-clicking this axe. They can just deal a lot of magic damage to him. They can disrupt him. They can throw him up with a torrent. They can X-marks him. They actually don't have to deal with him in the middle of the team fight unless he forces them to. And I think Blink Dagger is the only way that that's realistically going to happen. I understand why he chose to go for the chainmail because of how hard his laning phase was. If we even just look at his net worth, he is literally being doubled up by the Sand King. But I really think that he needs Blink Dagger. And if they don't get Blink Dagger, if we look now middle, Alchemist has BTs. Okay, he's actually getting Omni Slash now, but he just goes into ultimate and just walks away. He doesn't have to deal with this at all. And this is going to be the case, even if they have this level 6 A ultimate.
He's actually level
Alchemist,
7
again,
now,
does
so...
have his BTs. Yeah, he's level 7 with me, but Alchemist has BTs, so actually killing this Alchemist is going to be incredibly difficult, unless they can actually force him to stay and fight, and Axe is really good for that, and Axe can combo up very well with the Ancient Apparition if he has the Blink Dagger, so... I hope this is just a casual chainmail up until the point where he does have Blink. And also, I must say that Pulse, their warding has really been on point right now. They understand exactly what's happening from Duck's movements all across the map. They've got this one ward inside the Radiant Jungle. Oh my gosh, this Sentry was actually going to miss the actual Observer ward. And CK is going to look for it. We're not going to be able to find it. So this is extremely good for Pulse because now Duck will think that they actually have free reign of the jungle, but they won't. So they actually open themselves up to being picked off by either
top lane though, there comes the Epi, there comes the Torrent. AA Blast going to land on both. There's the call. Is it going to be enough to bring them down? His son leaps in, drops down the Starfall. Good stun catching both. Anthem, he's going to bite the dust as well. SK also on his way down to the underground, and both dying in favor of just DJ. So a more favorable trade coming out from the side of Duck. I suppose they now know they have to kind of react to these kind of scenarios where the Sand King and Kunkka are trying to make things happen around the map, and to kind of prevent that, get those rotations on in. And they do this time, bringing Jugger to the top lane, going to put a bit of pressure on this tier 1 tower. I feel that was a little bit of a better coordinated team fight than what we've seen before.
Yeah, definitely. That was... Duck ensured that they actually got those kills. They allowed Axe to initiate, he gets the core, and the rest of his team is there almost immediately to back him up. And that's what we'd like to see from a lineup such as Duck has. They really can't afford mistakes in the way that they fight because a lot of their stuns can overlap and or miss outright, such as the Lion's Impale, the Marana Arrow, even the Ancient Apparition Ice Blast can miss in its entirety. So teamwork and communication is what we're going to need to see from Duck. And there they demonstrated what they're able to do, getting a really big kill. Unfortunately, while that was happening, bottom was being pressured by the Alchemist. They would be able to push him back, but he's almost got the Manta style here, Juba. Like,
yeah, that's on the Luna. Well, it looks like Luna's also going for a Manta build as well. She did pick up the random component. Oh no, she actually went for the Dragon Lance. Okay, we'll come back to that. But as far as the Manta for the Alchemist, this is going to put a lot of pressure on the lanes. They're going to be looking at trying to get the Alch Manted up, pushing out those lanes. The Radiance is going to do so much work, let alone the amount of farm. Probably going to see an Octarine core coming out on Frenzy pretty soon as well, I would imagine. But with that, I mean, what do you feel about this Dragon Lance here on the Luna? I don't know if... Look, it gives great stats and it is an amazing item. But considering you've got a Shadow Demon on the team that can kind of like protect you and make illusions, going for the illusion route, maybe a little bit better. I don't know. What's your thoughts
generally, when you play Luna, you want to go for Manta. You don't want to go for Manta style first because you want to be able to stack up another agi item beforehand so you get the most out of the Manta illusions, unless you really have to get some sort of dispel off. But overall, this is a really good farming build that he's gone for. The Dragon Lance, some of the Dominator, he can stack up Ancients for himself and farm it rather safely. And we saw how quickly he just cleared through this entirety of the jungle. More importantly, the Dragon Lance can be... It's very rare for Lunas to do it, but you can go for the Hurricane Pike, which is exceptionally useful in a game like this to get you out of trouble if need be. But I think he's fine. And also, he doesn't really have to be involved in fights for a while, because Pulse realized that they definitely have the late game. They have Luna, Alchemist, Shadow Demon. There's
Oh.
no way that they don't have the late game potential here. That was such a close arrow. That could have
Yeah.
gone anyway.
That was ridiculously close there coming out from Isam. But yes, like you said, okay, so the Dragon Lance, not bad. I suppose it is going to give him that little bit of extra range. Maybe always also getting that little bit of mobility, maybe converting that to a Hurricane Pike a little bit later. Just considering that the Shadow Demon was available to the side of Pulse, could kind of use that siege potential, but bottom lane, we do get the AA Blast coming in onto the AA. From the AA now, Frenzy going to just mentor up, leave things here with Legend to deal with. Does get unstable concoctioned up. Now going to throw out the Omni Stash. Is going to be enough? There comes the boat. Not even needed. Frenzy being able to man mode the Jugger, bringing him down rather easy and taking him for breakfast. Very late rotations coming out from DUC. Isan trying to get his way down there, but just a little bit too late. And unfortunately, the Jugger did actually have to go down there. Looks like they may actually want to be... Yeah.
He's level 15 on Frenzy. Level 15, 17k net worth. He's got the Manta style, Radiance with the TP boots and Omelette. 21 minutes into the game. Honestly, he's not going to die for quite some time. Unless they commit 2 or 3 heroes to actually killing him. Frenzy, as we saw, this is the hard carry Juggernaut. This is one of the most bumped heroes on the side of Duck. And he died solo. And this is after he got hit with the A Ice Blast as well as the Omni Slash. And Frenzy just shrugged it off. So,
well, he is 10k. He is 10k above the Jugger, the Alchemist. He's got 10k extra above. So that's like basically 2 big items above. But big jump coming out here from DJ. Does find the Luna. AA Blast, but going to be disrupted up. Not going to be able to save him from the AA ult. And easy dunk there for the Axe. Now they're going to try and turn things around. They're going to try and chase down Doppler. He's going to be able to just escape. But another call, another blink coming out from the Axe. And as you're saying, this blink is a massive improvement here from the side of Duck. Things are trying to make plays here. We got the jump forward here from Isan picking up the kill now as well on the Shadow Demon. Taking 2 kills there on the back of that. But now bot lane being pressurized quite a bit here. Anthem sitting in the back lines, just playing a little bit of defensively here for the Alchemist. Does actually throw out the Unstable Concoction. Is he going to try and throw it out? Legend. He's going to take it to the face. And Frenzy's just going to TP out. Is it going to be enough, actually? Call going to be just a second too late. DJ not being able to locate him quick enough. And Frenzy just being able to get himself out of dodge.
And while this is happening, look at the space they created for top lane. S is just pushing this out. The tier 2 towers under threat is going to be cancelled out now by the AI Plus. But look at all the lanes. The creep equilibrium is all in favor of Pulse. The Duck can't really move outside of the map right now. And while as extremely cocky as that was from Frenzy, we saw finally the effect of the DJ Blink Dagger. Able to bring down Luna and the Shadow Demon, but it's really a sad state of affairs when you can kill a Luna with Blink Dagger and it actually doesn't mean anything. Because if you look at Luna's net worth, she's actually 3rd on her team. 2nd is the Sand King, who has Aghanim Scepter Blink Dagger. 23 minutes in. What the hell is happening? Where are these heroes finding this farm, Driver?
Well, it was pretty much all those 3 kills that DJ gave the SK in the beginning. I mean, he had a 12-minute Blink Dagger and Arcane Boot, so that was rather ridiculous coming out from him as well. So, I mean, after that, his farm just kind of accelerated and being able to push out lanes. He does have that escape, so it forces out the side of Duck to actually invest in some form of kind of detection. If CKY on the line is not in the vicinity to actually break the Sandstorm, it becomes a little bit of a problem as well. DJ, he's been so under-farmed just because we've got the SK being able to throw out their Caustic Finale. Doesn't really have the disable, but rather just has that kind of throwing his body at the fight kind of hero. Makes it very easy for the Sand King to kind of just really dominate that lane. But you can see the way that Pulse really want to fight here is looking at the wards that are on the map. The entire side of the Radiant jungle is pretty much being awarded, and now we've got a bit of a smoke coming up here from the side of Duck. They actually do throw down the scan here from the side of Pulse. They do know that DUC is in the vicinity. They may look at doing something here.
Smoke wasted.
Well, Frenzy just TP's out. Anthem, he's going to stay behind.
What I don't like about what Duck are doing about this game, Legend chose to go for this Battle Fury. His reasoning probably was that, okay, so going up against Alchemist Luna, the game is likely going to go late, and once the game gets to the late game stage, I want to be able and geared, ready to fight. However, I don't think the game is going to last that long. If Duck aren't able to get themselves back in a substantial position quite soon, because Battle Fury does not allow you to fight. and he barely has any damage right now. He's being affected by this mischance. I would have much rather preferred the Diffusal Manta route. For two reasons. Firstly, again, it's a fighting build. It helps him with mobility to be able to move around the map and get some CS a little bit faster from the camps. But most importantly, having the Dispel chance with the Diffusal Blade, being able to actually remove active debuffs, getting rid of the Caustic Finale on one of your allies, taking rid of that slow, is really a huge deal. Sometimes with Juggernaut, you want to try to chase down the Sand King, however you can't because you either can't rush after him because he slowed you down, or Axe's not being able to blink, or whatever the case may be. Diffusal Blade definitely changes the game in that regard, and it also allows you to slow down a hero for Axe to be able to jump and call on as well. So I can understand why I went for this Battle Fury. However, he's had the Battle Fury for about 3 or 4 minutes right now. And in this time, he hasn't been able to catch up to the Sand King or the Alchemist. Alchemist has actually gotten even further ahead, and now he's actually going to die.
Yeah, there comes the big ultis from both heroes, Sand King and Luna, popping that out. Maybe a little bit of an overkill there. If he had able to get his Omni Slash off, there would have been a terrible amount of stacking of abilities. And if he survived through that, potentially a little bit of a situation for Pulse, but nonetheless, not being able to actually bring down either one of them. But now bot lane, there comes X, marks the spot onto DJ. There's the boat, does catch him out. AA Blast, not going to catch. So things are going terribly awry here for the side of Duck. They're already pushing down tier 3 towers. This is ridiculous. Only 3 players at the live for the side of Duck. No buybacks available. His son jumping in forward there, does have a blink available, so she's going to be a little bit more mobile as well, but still not bringing any damage to the table. And only the big damage dealer is the Jug, and he's down for another 5 seconds until they can look at doing something. Yeah, maybe Pulse could have walked away with a little bit more, but I suppose just playing it a little bit more safe, and Frenzy's just going to get himself out of dodge. His ult was kind of coming off cooldown, and yeah, I suppose Pulse not wanting to give away the edge. At the moment, things are looking rather in their favor. Let's jump onto our net worths at the moment. We've got Pulse sitting with an advantage of around about just under about 20k gold for the side of Pulse. XP sitting at around about just above the 10k experience earned for the side of Pulse. So things looking really good for them at the moment. Duck in a little bit of a precarious position. They don't have the damage to actually deal with the side of Pulse, let alone the mobility that the side of Pulse has. I mean, they've got so much control coming out from the Shadow Demon and the Kunkka, but Duck, they have smoked up. Going to try and make a bit of a play here. They might
If they can catch Frenzy, this is going to be huge, but they're probably just going to get the Shadow Demon. Oh my gosh, Fady gets the Invis Rune as well. As long as he doesn't try to fight this, I think they'll be perfectly fine here.
Oh,
He's going to try anyway. I don't think this is a good idea.
Dunk off the mark. They do pick up CKY in the backgrounds. Now Legend trying to go ham. They do pick up the kill on the Alchemist. AA actually picks that up, so getting himself a nice little bounty there as well. A K gold. But while all this is happening in the Radiant jungle, we've got S pushing down top tier 3 towers as well now. So a lot of space created. We've got the stun actually being used out. Call not going to be good enough. Does get himself out of there using the Blink Dagger, forcing 2 rotations back, the Axe as well as the Jugger. And again, Pulse in a definite commanding control of this game.
So what went right for Doc over there is during the smoke, they caught out the Shadow Demon.
Ooh, top lane.
But as he got caught out, Frenzy came from the backside. And top lane, yep, S gets the solo kill again on their DJ. You just can't go on Sand King at all. This is not a hero that you can go on. Especially now with this double Barrow Strike range, yep, that just can't happen.
Yeah, no, this
So
is...
he's also a Dagon right now. Dagon 3 Sand King, man. This is great.
Yeah, that is... I mean, that's something we haven't even spoken about. So maybe when we're done, maybe you can just enlighten us a little bit. Maybe why the Dagon? I suppose low HP heroes?
Actually, Dagon's really good this game. And the reason why it's very good is he looks around the map and he recognizes that the majority of these Dark heroes can actually be popped in short order, especially the Juggernaut, because of the fact that he went for this farming route instead of actually building up stats. So if they get
bot
the
lane,
catch on
bot
it,
lane is Sun in a little bit of trouble. Boat comes out, Torrent, Frenzy does pick up the kill, almost bringing down the little creep as well in the back line. So, I mean, picking up the kill on his son's another big deal. But yeah, sorry to interrupt, carry on. I mean, the Dagon build on the Sand King.
Yeah, sure. So while that's happening, also they're going to get Roche out of this. Dagon, what it allows you to do is, like you mentioned, these squishy supports such as Lion and Ancient Apparition will die pretty much every time. CKY might be able to kill Sand King here though. If he does it properly, he should be able to get this kill. But the main thing is being able to actually bring down Juggernaut and Mirana. Mirana might be more difficult, so she has Aghanim Scepter and Yasha. Juggernaut, however, doesn't have any stat items, so he can actually die extremely quickly if he gets bursted down by all this magic damage that's available for the Pulse lineup. They will get the kill on the Sand King now, though. The TJ comes back into the game just for that.
Yeah, so that was that's a bit of a big kill there for the side of Duck. I mean, almost 800 gold going in favor of our X that did manage to pick up the kill on that Sand King. It also prevents any further pushing in from the top lane. So now Duck has an actual opportunity to kind of push out the bot lane without too much harassment coming in from the top lane. That kind of space created scenario. But a little bit of a bigger problem now is that we've got the Aegis up on the Luna.
Yeah, Luna has Aegis. What she needs next is this BKB. She has the Aegis, she has Manta style, so she's definitely ready to fight right now. What might be problematic for Pulse, however, is that the DJ has just been able to grab up this...
Ooh, arrow hits!
Oh wait, ooh, nice arrow.
This is a big opportunity here. DJ blinks in, catches out the Shadow Team, and leaving the Luna in the backlines. There comes out the disruption, keeping her alive a little bit longer. Poit's going to land on one. DJ taking the brunt of it. Isan is down. Axe goes down as well. Only Legend in the vicinity. Does Omni Slash up. Aegis is down. Luna, she's waiting to revive at the moment. Legend trying to get himself out of dodge here. X not going to be able to find himself yet. Torrent does miss. Concoction thrown out. Does catch Legend, but not going to be able to hold him in place for very long. And now the side of Pulse are in a bit of a scurry to kind of find Legend. He's able to walk off there, and the only one to live out of the side of Duck. Almost a full 5-man team up. Almost bringing down the Kunkka. And now after that team fight that transpired, it is going to be translated into the tier 2 being brought down, possibly even the tier 3. This is not the kind of situation you want to be sitting at this point in time.
So what happened in that fight is they actually could have killed Juggernaut. Unfortunately, Anthem chose to use the Torrent first instead of just rushing him down and waiting for the X to come out. But what primarily happened in that fight is, now we see Legend, and that's why they buy the Dagon 3. Immediately burst down the Juggernaut. CKY is probably gonna die here as well. Yeah, he's dead. There's no way he can fight this. This actually might just be game. I think this is game over, Juba. I don't see a way Duck can win from here.
No, this is a bit of a problem. They do bar back on the Jugger. They're going to probably wait and see if it's just going to be one lane of Rex. But it looks like they're going to actually turn their attentions to the bottom Rex as well. Try to force a bar back of somewhat. We've got Sand King. It's not going to he gets called by Axe, but because he's called Embrace, I can actually run towards him. Now Frenzy in the middle of things, throws down that acid spray, does actually get invised up, but it's not going to be good enough. Call coming out from DJ, catching out both S and Frenzy. There comes the Dagon, making short work there of the Axe. Very bad against magic damage. And Fatty and Alchemist, the one to still stand and be right-clicking those Rexes. DJ still looking for something a little bit more here. Arrow trying to come out, doesn't latch onto the Luna. Arrow not flying too true at the moment, and just being able to survive. DJ going to maybe just chase her down a little bit. 5 seconds cooldown on the blink. But Luna just a little bit too fast there with her Manta up and her Yasha. But DJ doesn't want to give up just yet, and he's going to put a bit of pressure. Kunkka's arriving in the back lines, and the smoke actually does come out, keeping her alive just a little bit longer. But yeah, I mean, kind of a tough situation, but DJ staying in the vicinity now. Fatty, Kunkka, they do drop the axe. There's the Torrent to do catch him. Solo ulti on the DJ, but does pop Blade Mail. Fatty trying to run away, not good enough on the dunk. Omni Slash does come out, does bring down the Jugger. Now Fatty, but that boat was just too good, but AA ult does catch Fatty. Going to drop him as well, so nice catch there from the AA. And kind of swings things around, putting a 4-man team wipe there for the side, well, not team wipe, but a 4-man hero drop there for the side of Pulse. Only losing the Axe and the Jugger. Maybe not the best of trades, but considering how this game's going, they'll take whatever they can get.
Yeah, definitely. This is the time when any kill is a good kill if you're on the side of Duck. However, now you are down 2 lanes of Rex. You do have some tools to deal with this. Access Spin, you have Mirana that has the Blink Aghanim Scepter as well as Juggernaut with the Battle Fury Deso. But this is not easy. It's not the sort of game that Duck envisioned themselves playing at the 34-minute mark. They thought that they would either be further ahead or more able to translate the decisive team-wide wins into actual objectives. Because if we looked around the map, Duck, the only real objective they've been able to secure is this tier 1 tower in the top lane. Pretty much everything else has been coming up for Pulse. They still have the both tier 1 towers in the mid and bottom lane. They've taken Roshan twice. And now they, or actually don't only once, but now they can set themselves up to just complete up these mega creeps. And Duck, they can hold against super creeps, but I don't think mega creeps is remotely possible for a lineup such as theirs. They need the space. They need to be able to farm. And Juggernaut, he's far behind as it is, as well as Mirana. And now the amount of farm that they can conceivably get is gonna decrease. And we all know what happens when Luna and Alchemist have free map to farm. These heroes just get bigger and bigger and bigger. Fady can actually one-shot buy any item he really wants to. He's thinking about it, has 5.5k gold, he's gonna get the Skadi instead of the BKB. I think you should just go BKB. If Fady goes BKB, he can just man up with the rest of his team, go to the front lines, pop BKB, and Duck honestly can't really do anything against them. The Blade Mail is not going to be that much of an effect on him. The Omni Slash sure is going to be there, but he'll still have the Manta style. Mirana's damage is almost completely nullified if he goes for that route, and he's not going to be affected by a Wormy's Ice Blast, which arguably has been putting in the most work for Duck lineup in quite a while. So he will go Skadi. It might be risky, but then again, here we go. Shadow Demon Illusions. This is the Dota we've been waiting for, dude.
Yeah, this is the siege. Let the siege begin. And with all these ultimate orbs and all the stats that Luna's actually sitting with, it makes these Shadow Demon Illusions so tanky and so tough to actually bring down. But like you said, we've got the mana drain from the Lion and we've got the arrow from the Mirana to actually deal with it. But here comes Kunkka, X's himself, and just pulls himself out, clearing up that creep wave. And I mean, the wave clear from the side of Pulse is actually just ridiculous.
Yeah, Pulse's wave clear is crazy. So they've got Luna, they've got Anthem Kunkka, which has just picked up a Daedalus. They've got Shadow, the Sand King that has a Caustic Finale. They have Shadow Demon with Demonic Poison, and they have Alchemist Radiant Split. So even if the map changes around and Duck were the ones in this similar position, I still think that Pulse has better ability to just hold the high ground. And now we're getting past that stage of the game where Duck's lineup is able to take fights on their own terms. Any fight that they take right now, Pulse is going to always be able to counter-initiate, either with Kunkka or Sand King. And honestly, the damage that they have is just way too much. They're just so farm. Look at them, 30,000 gold ahead of Duck. Omni Slash comes out though, but I think Legend's going to die from this.
Oh, the boat does land. A big epi coming out from the Sand King. We've got the Lunar Eclipse being thrown down. DJ brought down. AA brought down. 3 down for the side of Duck, only losing the Shadow Demon for the side of Pulse. This is going to translate into the top lane of Rax actually being brought down, and that Luna just rapes those Raxes and brings it down so easily. So, I mean, this is a bad situation here for the side of Duck, and the GGs are called out, and I think it wasn't the way that Duck wanted to actually play it, but being able to get out what they needed to out of the map from the side of Pulse was very well done. I think that gem on the Ancient Apparition came out a little bit too late considering how much warding they had around the map. But yeah, nonetheless, this is going to be game number 1 under the belt. Before we move on to the next game, maybe you want to just give us a quick post analysis of what you kind of think that maybe Pulse did exceptionally well or where Duck actually failed. So
basically what happened was that Pulse, their laning phase was exceptional. They were able to run that aggressive tri-lane without Duck being able to punish them too hard. The one time that they did get a kill, they immediately rotated the Luna around the map to the place where Sand King was absolutely demolishing the Axe. So because of the fact that they were running an aggressive tri-lane, Sand King against Axe is just a non-contest for the Axe. Pulse was just able to hit all their item timings much faster than Duck. They had the Blink Dagger on the Sand King maybe 8 minutes maybe before the Axe was able to pick up his one. The Luna was just free to move around the map doing whatever the hell he wanted, not completely threatened by any of the Duck heroes. The Axe came out on time for Mirana, but by the time she had Axe, Alchemist had the full Manta style with the Armlet and Radiance. So Duck, just from the get-go, based on how the laning phase was going, they were always behind. They were never able to actually be in a position where they're able to take fights to Pulse. They couldn't really come back. They couldn't even sit back and defend deeply enough because of how much range Shadow Demon or the Shadow Demon Sand King combo was able to pick up, thanks to the disruption into the long range use of the Aghanim's Borrow Strike. So Pulse just got there. They started playing their Dota much faster than Duck was, and Duck wasn't able to deal with that.
Well, there you have it. The Lunar Shadow Demon combination stands the test of time, bringing us to a 60% win rate between the two combinations. So, with that said, we're going to jump into game number 2. You have been listening to Jabba and Snare. Do give us a follow if you do wish to follow us, but we hope to see you in game number 2. So, do stay with us. We are also streaming it out on YouTube. If you wish, you can find it at Jabba Gaming at YouTube. But do join us in game number 2, and it will be up shortly. See you guys soon.
Wow, God.
Good Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and Dota players around the world. We are in game number 2 of the Indigo Finals. It is going to be Duck versus Pulse. Pulse taking game number 1 rather convincingly, had a very good early part to the game, and unfortunately Duck didn't have the opportunity to get their footing that they needed to get themselves back in. But hopefully game 2 they're going to bring something a little bit different to this game. Really had a little bit of a tough time, but nonetheless this is going to be game number 2. I am Jabba, joined by Snare, and yeah, maybe you want to enlighten a little bit of our new viewers that did miss game number 1, what went wrong.
So the primary thing that ended up going wrong in game number 1, like we were discussing after the game, was the way that they set up their lanes didn't really work out as much as Pulse would have liked them to. But I think above and beyond all that, it's just they didn't respond to threats. Duck didn't respond to the threats of Pulse in the way that they were supposed to. Didn't really move around the map enough. Didn't put enough pressure on the Alchemist, and we saw Alchemist with a free game just does Alchemist things. There was no surprise about what happens. But this game, they already have a much more aggressive draft by having the OD. So relegating this Mirana either to support, also, so they have Mirana either in support or in the safe lane position, OD middle. Duck has a Shadow Demon now, so they can try and counter what OD does. But they need to be extremely aggressive because OD in this meta is freaking scary, especially in the mid lane.
No, I mean, absolutely. And I mean, I think Pulse has a way to actually deal with the Shadow Demon, immediately picks up the OD, kind of revealing their mid, showing that that they respect the fact that the Shadow Demon is a strong support hero. In the first game, we mentioned Mirana, the arrow deals with illusions rather well. Now we've got the illusion Arcane Bolt that actually deals with illusions extremely well. I mean, it does an extra 400 damage to illusions. So, Duck going with a little bit of a lineup similar to what Pulse did this time. Sand King being opted here for the side of Duck. I'm going to maybe be putting that on the offlane. Maybe that's going to be the new DJ hero. But the bans coming out so far, let's just jump into those quickly, get that out of the way. We got the Elder Titan, Faceless Void being banned out here for the side of Duck. The Drow and the Oracle being banned out here for the side of Pulse. The third ban coming out for Pulse, we're just waiting for them to pick that up. But so far, Duck maybe going a little bit more aggressive, maybe a little bit more control as what Pulse had in the first game. But maybe the OD is going to be the difference.
I think what Duck are trying to do, I think they understand what happened in the last game, so they're trying to get much more powerful lanes, and not just pure laning potential, but they want kill potential in all of their lanes. So having Shadow Demon Sand King, this could be a support Sand King, it could be in the off lane. Either way, it's a hero that can get killed, especially in conjunction with the Shadow Demon. As you said, Morphling was banned out because Pulse just know, man, just don't play Morphling, don't play against Morphling, one of those things. Especially, although that being said, OD is actually kind of decent against Morphling. You can really turn into that hero by stealing away his int with the Arcane Orbs, disallowing him from being able to morph as much as he'd like to. So it's kind of interesting that Pulse still choose to ban that hero out. However, Duck right now, I think they probably need to ban Omni Knight at some point, either 3 or 5, because Omni Knight's OD is pretty scary. I'm not sure if they're going to want to go for it in its entirety. But I definitely think that's good banning to do. And also, Omni Knight is very good with Mirana. Mirana, you leap into the middle of a couple of heroes or after an arrow, and suddenly this Purified Heal Bomb does a crazy amount of damage. So, Duck instead to take out Terrorblade, don't want to deal with pushing potential. So it's okay, Duck just want to be able to win all their lanes. They take out the Terrorblade, they take out Foy, take out ET. This is a laning game now for Duck. They won a correct out in game 1.
Well, and I suppose the Shadow Demon also forces out the ban on the Luna, understanding that the Luna Shadow Demon combination is just absolutely ridiculous. But that still leaves a couple of other heroes in the pool here for Duck that they can actually put their cores on that are actually very good with Shadow Demon as well. We were discussing it earlier. I mean, Terrorblade is one that's very good with Shadow Demon. We've got the Anti-Mage, which is also really good. Morphling, also another great hero. These are all heroes that actually deal with stats, so the Shadow Demon works really well with those heroes. Obviously, the Luna and the Morph being banned out. So probably the next core for the side of Duck is going to be the AM. And AM against an Outworld Destroyer. I mean, if Pulse allow the AM through, I feel that could be a bit of a mistake unless they want to use that ban for the Invoker. And again, we've got the Quaswex Invoker that can also be an absolute nightmare for the side of Pulse. So it seems like Duck have actually forced Pulse into a little bit of a corner here. How do you feel?
I I don't think they should go AM. If they go AM, they shouldn't go it now. I think it should be a fifth pick because if they do go anti-mage now, anti-mage can be killed by OD Mirana. One of the things that generally happens with anti-mage and OD, it always depends on who's able to jump on whom. If AM is able to get into the fight as OD's already spent all his mana, then you can obviously mana void him and the entire team dies. However, the opposite is that if anti-mage is not careful and blinks into a bad position, suddenly all your mana is gone and you can't blink away anyway, and you can't do anything as the anti-mage. So I'm not sure if Duck is going to go for that. I think they'll save it for a little bit later. Right now, though, Pulse, oh, this is very nice. So I don't understand why Beastmaster really fell out of the meta. A lot of teams stopped picking him for whatever reason. But this hero is still really good. So in this game, the particular reasons why they pick Beastmaster, it's a hero that can go into the off lane very safely, doesn't have to worry too much about staying in the lane and dying, can go Iron Talent jungle, can stay far back in the lane and farm with the boar. But more importantly, having vision for Mirana, understanding where the enemy heroes are, and then being able to either smoke or Moonlight Shadow around the positions of the Dark heroes, as well as being able to scout out Sand King at all points in the game and understand where he's going to try to blink on you from. So I definitely like Beastmaster, and it's another stun. So if Duck do go for Anti-Mage, Juggernaut, these sort of hardcore physical damage heroes, they can be dealt with by being roared down and killed.
Well, Duck actually opts to go for the Riki now as well. So now they've basically got the two supports here from Duck. They're now looking for their core and mid for DUC. Now, what can generally go well against the OD in the mid? What would be the kind of heroes that we could expect out from Duck?
For the mid lane, what Duck would like to probably do to deal with this OD, like you said in the last game, Invoker might be a possibility for them. I don't think they go for Alchemist. Alchemist is not particularly great. They could go for Huskar. Huskar can deal with this OD hero, at least at the earlier levels of the game. However, Huskar is not good against Warlock, so they should think about that before they go for it. And it's not that great versus Beastmaster. I think Duck might actually end up going for... They won't go for TA. Morphling isn't banned out.
How does Razor do against an OD?
Razor actually does fine. Yeah, actually Razor could work. Razor in conjunction with the Riki, what they can do is that you come in, drop the smoke screen, and then you immediately leash up the OD. Thus, if you either kill him before he's able to astral himself, or even after the astral, you either kill him with right-click damage, or if he astrals you, then just use the damage to farm. So I think Razor can actually work pretty well for Duck.
I mean, he does also have that passive. He does also have that purge passive as well on the Razor as well. That if he does actually cast his imprisonment, it will actually slow down the OD as well. And I think his link will actually also stay with the OD through the imprisonment. But there you have it. It's going to be a mid TA. I suppose this also does really well against the OD as well, especially with the refraction, being able to dispel a couple of those instances of damage. Going to be able to avoid a couple of those arcane bolts coming out from the OD. So I suppose TA also pretty good in dealing with the OD. Maybe not so good against the Astral Imprisonment, but it also prevents any further onslaught from the Mirana. As soon as she gets imprisoned and then the Mirana arrow does come out, she can kind of negate quite a bit of that damage as well.
I think it depends on... The mid lane is going to depend a lot on this Riki. If Riki is able to apply adequate pressure onto the OD and not allow him to actually bully the TA, allow TA to get safely to level 3, level 4, I think she'll be fine. However, OD, if you leave OD versus TA 1v1 and OD chooses to put even the one value point into Arcane Orb, you just never allow TA to actually have the mana to cast Refraction or the Melt. And TA can have issues with mana problems unless she gets that early bottle Aquila build. So Pulse can make this work and just completely not allow TA to be the same hero that she is. She might actually be forced to go for higher levels to the side blades than Refraction just to be able to stay in the lane and get last hits underneath the OD's damage. So the one thing I do like about this TA is Roshan potential. It synergizes extremely well with the Shadow Demon Soul Catcher because you do all that additional damage from the Meld armor reduction. So yeah, I do like the TA hero. Although I really like this Pulse lineup. Look at this team fight, dude. Warlock, Beastmaster, OD.
A lot of AoE damage coming out. But the ban coming out from Pulse is going to be Sniper. I'm a little bit confused about this. Obviously, has something up their sleeve here with the Sniper ban. What do you think it could be about? It's not a common banning out a Sniper.
A Sniper actually would have been really good for Duck because if they ran Sniper, probably would it be a safe lane Sniper. That's extremely good against Beastmaster. Beastmaster cannot stop Sniper whatsoever. But the more important thing is that if you look at Duck's lineup right now, every other hero that's here can actually create space for the Sniper. Riki can drop down the cloud. Sand King can initiate for your Thorough Strike. the Shadow Demon has disruption. TA is just going to be on the front lines regardless. So if you had this sniper hero sitting on the back lines throwing in pot shots, it would have been difficult for Pulse to deal with because they don't have any heroes that actually jump into the middle of the team fight and expect to survive by jumping all the way to the backside. They want to be able to go to the front, pick off one of these support heroes, either Shadow Demon or Ricky, immediately with the Beastmaster, and then move on from there. However, I don't like this PL pickup. I think
I
it
think
can
that
go
could have
either
done
way
better.
because Diffusal Blade PL is very good against OD. However, this hero is very bad versus Beastmaster. So I don't know. How do you feel about PL?
Like, it's not my favorite considering that Outward Devourer does really well against like illusioned heroes. Like, I mean, it's going to take up a lot of the right clicks from the OD, but now with the response of the Sven, I think Pulse has got a little bit of a better draft here. I mean, I think a lot of it's going to depend on the setups of the supports here for the side of Duck. So we're going to expect big plays here from DJ and Wormy, even CKY to make sure that that smoke like cloud does come down perfectly. But so far, I suppose it's a little bit of a more finicky draft from Duck. I mean, a lot more positioning, a lot more things that are required. Where from the side of Pulse, it is going to be a little bit more easier for them to take control. But I suppose the one advantage that Duck has is the cooldowns from the side of Pulse is going to be longer, so they'll have a little bit more, say, room if they blow all their cooldowns rather early in the team fights. It kind of leaves Pulse at a little bit of a vulnerable position. So, yeah, I suppose that's the only thing that Duck has going for them. Otherwise, the later part of the game is going to be very difficult to shut down the side of Pulse.
PL's generally bad versus Sven as well because of
The cleave,
Warcry. Your
obviously,
illusions
yeah.
don't do that much damage. You just get all this additional armor, and you're gonna be building Echo Saber at some point. So you just cleave through all these things. So based off the balance of the draft, I definitely think Pulse should be able to win this game. However, the X factor for me is going to be CKY. The pressure that he applies onto the mid lane, if he's able to create enough space to allow Izan to actually have a decent laning phase, and they get a very early Blink Dagger and or Deso on the Temporal Assassin, then Pulse could actually be in trouble because these are heroes, if you look at, with the exception of the Sven and the Morana, at later portions of the game, they don't have a lot of armor. So they can get bursted down substantially quickly if the TA is able to actually get a good start. So it all depends on Ricky, how he influences this mid lane.
Well, absolutely. I think we're going to be in for a bit of a cracker of a game. It's going to really depend on how the guys get around the map, how they make plays happen, and yeah. So we'll see how the game does pan out. But this is for those of you that are joining us. This is going to be game number 2 of the Indigo Finals. Going to be DC versus Pulse Gaming. Pulse is 1 up at the moment. Gave us a bit of a entertaining game in the first round. A lot of kills going in their favor in the early parts of the game. But yeah, you here with Jabba and Snake. Do give us a follow if you do enjoy our casts, or if you just want to follow other games that are happening. We will hopefully see you at Rage this weekend. We will be casting the Masters for you guys, and yeah, it should be quite entertaining for all our spectators that do come through. So do come find us, do come say hello when you do come and see us. So yeah, with that said, I think it's your turn to kind of break down the lanes for us. And tell us how you think it's going to go. Let's start with the bot lane. We've now got DJ being harassed quite heavily here from this tri lane from a Pulse. But here comes out the Stormhammer. The arrow, not going to be on target. Anthem kind of trying to predict it. And DJ needs a couple of right clicks here. One more right click. No, he's going to be able to live through it. So DJ already under a lot of pressure here. And maybe Pulse reacting to the SK a little bit better than what Duck did in the previous game.
Yeah, definitely. So this lane is going to go pretty well for Pulse because the DJ is not going to be able to find too much out of this lane. Warlock is actually one of the better supports at dealing with the Sand King hero because of, as you've seen, he's just put the one value point into the Fatal Word, into the Shadow Word, and it doesn't really allow the Sand King to come forward in the lane for fear that he might just get stunned and killed underneath all this damage. As well, he could end up being brought down by the Fatal Bonds, which has just been leveled up by Doppler right now. So I don't think Sand King's going to get that much out of lane. He should still be able to stick around though. And now
Mid lane.
Mirana's rotated. Izan might die here. Doesn't have Malstrike. Yeah, the TA is dead. She's going to go for Refraction. Frenzy's in the lane. CKY doesn't have smoke. Yeah, first blood. TA goes down.
Oh, just not enough. Anthem getting that perfect arrow, keeping her in place for almost about 3 seconds, and just allowing Frenzy to go absolutely frenzy on him and bringing down our TA in the mid lane. So yeah, things not going too well for Duck so far again. And yeah, like you said, a lot of things rest on the side of CK. They did actually spot out the Mirana where she was, but unfortunately, Isan not being able to actually dodge out that arrow. So Yeah, a little bit of a problem, I feel. Maybe that the communication from CK should have said arrow out, and the TA should have actually dodged a little bit better, but not being able to get that right and actually going down for it.
I think one of the problems as well is that it's a conspicuous or an old combo, the Marana OD. You set up the Astral Imprisonment, sets up an easy arrow if you practice it enough, which makes it quite difficult to dodge. So they could do that again. Izan is not safe. If he goes anywhere farther along than just beyond the cusp of the stairwell leading into the river, he could really be in trouble. So I think, as I said in the draft, he already put 2 points into the side blades, understanding that alright, the only way he's gonna be able to survive up in this laning phase is just to be able to get damage out on OD and get out some last hits, and neither of which can be achieved if he only has low range. So it might be forced to sacrifice points into meld and refraction just to have as many points into side blades as possible. And top as well, what I really like about this, Beastmaster is going to have the time of his life. Legend cannot zone out Beastmaster, nor can the Shadow Demon. He's going to be fine. I mean, he's ate up most of his tangles, but now he has a poor man's shield. He's got 2 bows out. He's living life. He's happy. He's level 4 right now. He's getting as much farm as he wants to. And I think as Duck realizes that S is going to be approaching level 6 fairly soon, they need to try and make a rotation with either the Sand King from bottom, who's actually been zoned out. If he goes back home right now, heals up and goes top, and they find a kill on Beastmaster, I think he can effectively salvage his laning phase. But otherwise, Beastmaster might just find a solo kill. He will not be able to. But just look again, these lanes from Pulse, no one's really dying. Arrow's gonna come out, they catch Legend, and they're gonna get Worm. It's gonna be a double kill for the Murano almost. Master got the first grab.
Yeah, that's.
What do you do, Jabba? These lanes are just, once again, like, I wouldn't say perfect, but working out perfectly for Pulse.
Well, I mean, if you look at the warding on the map, it's pretty much a complete blackout here for the side of Duck. Didn't know the rotations coming out from the Marana, assuming the Marana was still hanging around in the mid lane. CKY still not moving and losing both Legend and Wormy. Obviously not your favorable options, but making it work for the side of Pulse and making these kind of things happen in the bot lane. DJ going down to Doppler on the Warlock and getting things done around the map. I feel that Duck kind of maybe outdrafted them themselves. They had the opportunity to make things happen and just not getting those things done that they need to. CKY, he's a little bit zoned out here at the moment. They do have a sentry in the mid lane. So Frenzy on the OD going to know exactly when the Ricky pitches up into lane. Imprisoning him out is going to be a simple task, and then just allowing the other hero to just get right click down. So it's going to be a little bit of a problem not being able to de-ward that up or getting up any wards here for the side of Duck is going to be a big issue for them.
I'm not entirely sure I like the way that CKY. Okay, top lane gonna have an engagement. Beastmaster's gonna get disrupted. I don't think he dies. Wormy's gonna get caught the arrow. They're gonna lose Shadow Demon again. That's super unfortunate. Anthem picks it up. Legend now forced back. But I don't like the way that CKY has been playing this Ricky. So he's been playing it sort of like you would expect him to play Bounty Hunter. Moving on the map, just trying to soak up experience, get close to level 6. But the thing is, with Ricky, the most important thing is not getting to level 6 for the track. It's being able to contribute to the early kills and get yourself in a position to get more points into the smoke screen, but more importantly, that all-important diffusal blade. Excuse me, because otherwise, you have this level 4 Ricky, but what's his actual contribution to the game? If he rotates anyway, he's not liable to find any kills because he's put 2 points into the blink strike right now. So he does some damage, but he doesn't do anything for his lineup right now. And all the other lanes aren't particularly going that well for Duck. So they are 5-0 right now, losing all the lanes. The Sven is the most farmed hero on the map. Okay, Raw top lane. They're gonna get Wormy again. Shadow Demon is just feeding the kills to Beastmaster this go around.
Well, I mean, that was a beautiful Primal Raw arrow onto that as well. So, I mean, the communication's pretty good between the two heroes. I mean, that arrow is already in flight, and Ace obviously knowing that arrow is coming out throughout the Primal Raw made easy work of Wormy, and he went down. Now, mid lane, Astral Imprisonment out on the TA. CKY trying to find something here. He does drop the smoke screen. Not going to be good enough, and is just going to actually return out, and yeah, not going to get any kills off the back of that. The thing is with the Ricky, you'd expect like a lot of kill potential coming out from him, but there's been no threat on the mid lane. I mean, you can see this by the Marana being able to rotate.
Didn't throw it. Look at this level disparity. Frenzy's level 7, Izan is level 5 right now. Doesn't even have the TA ultimate just yet. So, what do you do? Because this OD very soon is going to have as soon as he gets to level 10 and he has the full complement of all his abilities, likely at the time he'll have the Hurricane Pike as well. TA is not going to be in a position where she has any mobility items or even damage items to combat up against this OD. They're going to try Guan Anthem right now. Okay, might get this Morana kill, but he has Leap in a second. I think he's fine.
He's going to TP out. It's not going to be enough. They're going to bring it down and not getting that denial of the creeps there, being able to aggro it there from CKY. So they do get the kill on the Morana. The Anthem does actually go down, but yeah, I don't feel like getting enough out of the Riki. It's not being one of those value points. But top lane, we got Wormy actually making himself disappear now. S trying to make something happen here, and yeah, it's going to just be basically trade for trade here at the moment. Legend actually getting a little bit scared, does doppel out, and does actually prevent any further damage coming out from Beastmaster. He's actually got no mana, so not too much of a problem. Let's jump into the bot lane. Not too much happening there. DJ seems to be having a little bit more of an easier time of things. I mean, playing a little bit more safer, staying just in XP range, not really farming that much. So now the question is, do you kind of just let the Sven free farm and do what he wants and go to the jungle and rather get your items that you need, get that blink online and actually just be a threat at the later part of the game? Or do you think staying around this lane is the right thing to do? I think sack the bot lane, get into the jungle, get your arcane boots, get your blink. He's obviously opted for tranquils because he's been harassed so much.
Yeah, I agree with you. They're gonna try and stun him now. You just trends it with the sandstorm, but I definitely do agree that there came a particular point where it would normally depend on how the other lanes are going.
Top lane does go down, finds the arrow. Wormy taking it to the face, really enjoying that one. Now they're trying to find Anthem. We do have the doppelganger coming out, revealing where the Moran is, but not going to actually bring him down. So yeah, before we lost Wormy in the top lane, Sanking gets taken down in the bot lane as well. I mean, I don't actually know what he was even doing there. The last we saw, he was at the tower. Did you manage to see what happened in that fight?
Basically what happened was he was trying to get to the side shop to buy the TP scroll, and then Sven things happened. He got stunned and he got hit.
Sven happened. That's what happened. What? That's what happened. Sven happened.
Just Sven, man. What are you supposed to do? And he's coming back to the lane. So what I was saying is that I think that if the opposing offlaner was having a bad time as well, and Legend was getting a crap load of farm, then you could make the argument that okay, it's better for him to stay in lane, at least apply some pressure to the Sven. However, they are dealing with the Sand King in an amazingly well way. So we've come to a point right now with these max cleave points being picked up on Sven, where Sand King realistically can't even move beyond the entrance to the river again. So he should, like you just said, just go to the jungle, get an arcane boot, get the blink dagger, if he really must pick up the Iron Talon, but just sack this lane. He's not really getting anything out of this lane. He's level 6 right now with 16 losses to his name. Very low on the net worth chart, third lowest from the bottom. Erstwhile Beastmaster is third highest net worth with level 8. So Sand King should be trying to catch up to the Beastmaster right now instead of just trying to stifle the Sven's farm.
Absolutely. I want to make a comment, but before that happens, arrow flies out. Not going to catch out his son now. Riki jumping in the top lane, in the mid lane. Frenzy trying to make something happen in the bot lane, losing the Sand King, being able to bring down the Warlock. And now DJ does get stand up from the AoE of the Stormbolt. Freddy does actually ulti up. God's Strength is online, but not going to be able to actually get that kill on DJ. So suppose good job from DJ finding that kill on the Warlock and actually not coming down as well. CK now spotting out Anthem. Anthem drops the Starfall. CKY, he's going to go down. Just unlucky there from him that Invis not coming online just enough and being able to bring down CKY. Did get that stack up, yeah. I mean, I think it's just a 2-stack at the moment. But yeah, before that whole fight broke out, I mean, at this point in time, it would probably be more beneficial for the side of Duck to let CKY actually stack the jungle for the SK. SK, run into the jungle, clear out those creep camps, allow the Riki to soak up the XP, and then make things happen. And he'll become a little bit easier to survive in battles as soon as Tricks of the Trades come online, once he sees level 6, and then he can start then becoming a little bit more impactful in team fights. But top lane, Legend gets ulted up from the Warlock, but he's able to doppel out of that, and he's just going to try and TP out of base. Primal Roar on cooldown, and he's just going to be able to get out of dodge, but sacking the tier 1 tower top. Now, mid lane, well, just under the mid lane, CKY going down again to the Mirana, knowing that this creep stack is a little bit of a point of contention, and Mirana being able to bring down the CKY.
They got OD out of that though, so, and better yet, they got the kill on OD onto the Templar Assassin, which honestly makes the lane, not that it makes the lane phase relevant, but it brings her back immediately into the game. Even if you look at this network chart, she is now suddenly fourth network. She did get hit with the arrow, but she melt struck just before the arrow connected on her, so she stays invisible. So that one kill, now she's back in the game. She's actually surpassing the OG in terms of his net worth. They did with the tier 2 tower, tier 1 tower top, and they're taking a lot of damage on the tier 2. However, I think Duck can reasonably come back into this game. It'll have to come on the back of his though, because I don't think Legend is positioned to really be an influence in this game for quite some time. He's gone for the Vlad's route, so he needs to farm for quite some time before he can actually apply damage to the team. I think he's going to be sort of going for this utility sort of PL. We might even see him go for the early Manta diffusal instead of just the diffusal blade into Eye of Skadi, as we often see. They're going to try to bring down S here. They should succeed. This Beastmaster's gonna actually die. He shouldn't be here. That was not a good kill. Wormy might die to this. Nope, disruption, and they're gonna get this kill on Beastmaster, which
Well, he
is
does.
very, very good.
And that's what they need to make happen. These are the kind of plays that they actually need. Bo actually doing quite a bit of damage here to Wormy and being able to just survive off the back of that. So, I mean, much better play. I mean, the Ricky's getting a lot more done, getting that scouting out, knowing exactly where the players are for the side of Pulse. And now the Ricky's playing a little bit more aggressively. He's got Tricks of the Trade online, so now this can make him a lot more of a lesser target. They're going to expend a lot to try and bring him down, and as soon as they do expend those big abilities on the Ricky, he just pops the Tricks of the Trade, and then he's pretty much can dissipate the majority of all the damage during that duration. So things are looking a little bit better for DUC. They're not out of the woods yet, but I do think that they've got enough to actually deal with Pulse at the moment. Although Sven, I mean, he's looking ridiculously good at the moment. He's sitting with about 6.4k in the bank. Closest hero to that is going to be the TA and the PL, with basically a 1,500 disparity there. So, I mean, the Sven, I mean, the best of us know the Sven becomes an absolute nightmare to deal with.
They're gonna try and actually get this kill on the DJ. They stun him up. They don't have any vision over the innovator, but they won't need it. Anthem is here with the arrow. They drop down the Warlock Golem. They're gonna get the D-Ward off as well. So they're gonna take everything from this. So it's fine, I guess, but they need to be able to push this tower. Otherwise, it's sort of a waste of the Warlock ultimate. But something else here, Juba. The more I see Legend playing this PL, and the more I actually look at the Dark Draft, the more I am almost entirely convinced that they really wanted to pick Juggernaut. So I'm somewhat surprised why they chose to ban it instead. Or rather, I believe that Juggernaut would have fit their draft better than this PL. But
it does make sense, and perhaps I do know that Legend is probably more comfortable on the Jugger, but second hero that he does enjoy is the PL. But top lane does get imprisoned out, but now bot lane DJ finding out Anthem, charges up the ulti, does actually blink away, trying to find out Anthem. He does actually leap into the trees, and he's just going to be able to make it out. So on the back of that team fight in the jungle, being able to pick up the CKY as well as this tier 1 tower in the bot lane, Pulse walking away with a rather interesting battle over here. Now top lane, Frenzy, Astral imprisoning out Legend. Legend want to try and make a move. Doppelgang's out, trying to throw down that damage. I think the Vlad's in the beginning does kind of help him farm a little bit more so he can jump into the jungle off the back of this, but taking quite a bit of damage here from Frenzy. Now Wormy trying to save Legend, a little bit off the mark there on the disruption, not expecting that ulti. Now Wormy, he's got to get himself out of dodge, in a lot of problems here. We do have the Silence Cloud coming down from the Ricky, does actually imprison out Wormy. He could actually be dead here from the damage. He does go down, but now Tricks of the Trade going to bring down the Outworld Devourer for 733 gold in the Ricky's pocket. That's the kind of stuff that you need to see happening around the map. Unfortunately, losing the PL, losing Wormy, obviously not favorable trades, especially going up against just one hero. I mean, that just kind of tells you the story in itself, that OD took down 2 heroes, like free of charge.
OD right now is really difficult to deal with this 4-star. He's gonna buy his own Dragonlance as well. While that was happening, they got the kill on the Templar Assassin. They might be able to bring down DJ as well. He gets arrow stunned. He's gonna get hit with the whirling axes. He's got the fatal word onto him. He's gonna try and barrel strike himself away. Yeah, he's dead. One more right click should be enough. Master will hit him with the chops. That probably means they get this tier 2 tower as well. So Pulse is firing on all cylinders. Goldcraft at more than 10k before 20 minutes, experience at 7500. Duck, again, similar to game one, the way that they come back into this game is through the DJ. They need this offlane blink dagger, but unfortunately, he's just not able to find it based on how hard the game is going.
Wormy finding the arrow. There comes the Stormhammer. Wormy going to go down immediately. Tricks of the Trade trying to do as much work as they can. His son in a lot of trouble. Upheaval being thrown down. Primal Wall thrown down on the TA now. And I think the call was to actually try and get up. But Pulse just making too much work there. And now on the back lines, we got Legend being spotted out here. Frenzy, he's making some plays here. They're trying to make something happen. The arrows are not going to actually find Legend. A little bit off the mark there. But Stormhammer's going to be able to keep him in position. And that's his double kill for the Beastmaster. So things are going terribly awry here for a Duck. And losing tier 2 tower there as well. Losing in the... I think the Ricky actually survived to do that, if I do recall. But
yes.
Losing Wormy, losing the escape. Pretty much a four-man kill there, putting Pulse in a commanding lead. 19-5 after the 18-minute mark. I mean, things are going terribly wrong for them as well. And just to go back, I mean, both these teams are going to be playing in the DGC. Pulse is seeded 2 on the DGC, and Duck is seeded number 8. So definitely a little bit of a difference here, but we can know that Dota is just depending on if you get your heroes. Now, Epi being charged up here from DJ, trying to find a hero. The Astral Imprisonment going to keep Fatty alive just enough there, being able to kill out SK on the back of this. Now, CKY, they do find the kill on this friend eventually. Now, Primal Roar out on the TA, but we've got Obsidian Devourer working on the PL and the DJ on the SK, and does manage to bring down the OD eventually. TP out, coming out for the Beastmaster, and Mirana just being able to farm out her jungle pretty easy. Eventually she's got her eggs online, so Anthem, he's going to be in pretty good timing here to do a lot of work here as well. What's a decent timing on Mirana eggs?
Run eggs, as long as you can get the eggs anytime before about 24 minutes, that's about as late as it can be while still being acceptable. Generally, you want to get the Aghanim Scepter at about the 16 to 19 minute mark, so he's done pretty well in that regard. Has the eggs right now, will have a double star full. More importantly, that fight, sure they had to buy back on Sand King to win it, but they get killed on OD. They get the Desolator onto Temporal Assassin, which allows them to take Roshan all of a sudden. And the DJ, I believe, almost secured Blink Dagger, so... Well, he's actually quite far away, but they gave the Diffusal Blade over onto PL, so... That one fight actually changed the game. Now Duck aren't in as much trouble as they were. The game is still against them, and they still have to deal with how overwhelmingly far ahead Pulse is. Because they got this Blink 4-star up on OD, Mirana just has the Aghanim Scepter. Wait, where did it go? Oh, she dropped it to heal up. Sven has the Blink Echo Saber as well as the Amulet Dominator. Should be going into the Crit Stick or BKB next. But overall, I think the main problem that they have to deal with is the split push potential from Beastmaster, who has Necro 3s as well as this Call of the Wild. He's putting pressure onto this tier 2 tower in the top lane. And I don't think they're going to be able to stop this. So tier 2 tower is going to fall, and they don't have any outer towers left whatsoever. So now the question becomes, right, how are Duck intending to push back against Pulse's lineup? They have tools to do it. Izan with the Desolator and the long-range Side Blades can make this happen. Legend can just spam in illusions, and we have the Shadow Poison available from Wormy. But it's still not easy. They're going to really have to work on this. CKY though, they go on to Doppler. He gets the slow off with the smoke screen. The blink in from Fady goes on to Legend. They bring down this PL. Warlock comes in. The beautiful Warlock ultimate. They're going to try to bring down Izan. Izan goes brought down immediately. The Aegis of Immortal will be popped. They've lost the Sand King as well. Legend falling low. PL dead in the ground. Izan wakes up. But he is going to try and escape. Nope. Arrow from Anthem keeps him in place. Mega kill for the Mirana. 4 heroes dead. And suddenly the racks is open, and I think they'll get this. Beastmaster with Necro 3, what can you do?
Beastmaster Necro 3, Warlock Golem running around in the base, and Warcry to add things on top of it. This is top racks down for the count. Only the CKY. Only CKY alive, not much you can do there as well. Those Necros are just going to be able to reveal him out as well. So, yeah, I feel that, well, there you go. GG has actually been called out 20 minutes into the game, and that is probably going to wrap up game number 2. This is going to put the series to rest. Pulse are your victors, ladies and gents. They are the Indigo DGL Kickstarter tournament winners. They were able to bring it home for the boys. Hopefully, we kept you guys entertained on this Sunday evening. So, yeah, before we dispatch and disband, maybe you want to give us a quick rundown or a post analysis. Do you think that Duck actually lost it in the drafting phase, or do you think there's just the laning went a little bit wrong? I felt the SK needed to actually just sack the bot lane, jump in the jungle. But yeah, you can go ahead and take it away.
So what went wrong for Duck? Three things in particular went wrong. In least order of importance. So one of the things that went wrong, like you mentioned, the Sand King, his laning phase didn't go particularly well. He kept going back to the lane, which was really problematic. Not that he died only twice in the laning phase, however, and he did once get a counter kill, but he just didn't get anything out of the lane. All he was able to find out was the tranquil boots, nothing else beyond that. So that went really wrong for Duck because they needed him to initiate fights for them. The second thing that went wrong was the Ricky's movements across the map wasn't really contributing to what the team was trying to achieve. Wasn't really, with the exception of 1 or 2 kills that happened, that didn't protect his team in terms of providing enough vision. Wasn't able to actually influence the mid lane whatsoever, which meant that OD was able to completely crush the TA. And more importantly, it didn't really help apply pressure onto the Sven in the bottom lane, even though he could have with the SK. But I think primarily the main thing that went wrong, I think Duck just got out drafted. It happens. This Pulse draft, exactly what it needed to do, it did. They didn't lose any particular lane. Beastmaster was a complete boss in the top lane, keeping both PL and Shadow Demon on their toes at all times. Mirana rotated around the map amazingly, always catching arrows on point. And OD just did OD things. Sven didn't even need to do all that much. He just had to stay back at lane farming. And the rest of his team just carried it through. So I think it was mostly an outdraft, but the way that Duck chose to run their particular lanes could have gone better as well.
Well, there you have it. That's going to wrap up the series thus far. But do catch us, guys. You can follow me at Jabba Gaming. You can follow me there on Facebook or Twitter. I think you can find Snare. You're at _Snare_ again, if I do recall.
Yes, that's me.
Yeah, give us a follow, guys. We're gonna be at Rage this weekend at the local LAN. The DGC and the Masters are gonna be played there. Myself and Snare will be casting the Masters for you guys. We're gonna have Red Eye, the TI International host there with us as well. So do come down the weekend, come say hi to us, and just come and support our local esports Dota. But I think that's going to be a wrap from us, and we do hope to see you guys very, very soon. And we hope that you have an amazing Sunday, a good Monday, a great week, and an awesome, awesome weekend to come. From myself, good night and God bless.
In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you?